I met a gypsy.
I loved that Motocross Nations era too with you because you were, like you said, you struggle with outdoors. You're like this Supercross guy, and how many times did you race it?
3 times.
I was going to say, I feel like for 3 or 4 years, you just found yourself on the Motocross
Probably shouldn't have been
Nations.
there. Maybe at least one of them I shouldn't have been there. When I filled in, actually at Matterley, and I filled in for Ricky, because I got hurt. I got hurt at Vegas Supercross. I tore my labrum in my shoulder, so I got surgery. I didn't ride outdoors that year. I was actually at Glen Helen watching when Ricky crashed and hurt his shoulder. So tell that story. So I didn't ride outdoors. I went to the last race. I was like, I don't want to go to Glen Helen, but they made me go. So I ended up at the Fox thing up at top, having a few beers. Shouldn't have been, but that's what I was doing. So Ricky ends up crashing. So I go, and I go back to the Suzuki truck afterwards, and Roger pulls me aside and he's like, "Hey, you think you could race Des Nations in 2 weeks?" And I'll be honest, I had a few beers and I'm like, yeah, let's do it, So on the way home, I'm thinking, dude, what did I just get myself into? So I went and the next day I called Darren up, my trainer. I'm like, hey, let's get ready. We're going, and I tried to ride. I remember I went and rode at Elsinore, and this was after the outdoors series. No one's prepping else. It was like riding in the parking lot. And I'm trying to think of racing Des Nations, right? Like I drove home like, dude, what am I doing? So anyway, I got to ride for like a week and a half. I flew over there, and they had a test set up that Thursday, Stewart and Villapoto and myself. And I ended up oversleeping it. I was, just overslept. So by the time I show up to the track, everybody else was done riding. But they stuck around to watch me ride. And it was this rocky, shitty ass track. So I go out there and I felt like a novice, I'll be honest. And I get to see everybody's face. I could read people's energy. I feel pretty well. Yeah. And everybody's just thinking, what are we doing?
Why is it here?
Yeah. So I left that day like, man, this is going to be. And then it rained on Saturday night. You know me, I'm not a mud guy. So my first moto, I raced MX3, so my first moto was the second moto. And I whole shot from the outside. I led the thing for 20 minutes.
That's so wild.
Yeah. Arm pump. I mean, I could handle it. I couldn't even hold on. But I ended up crashing, I think, the last lap and ended up getting 6th or something. But enough for us to pull off the Chamberlain Trophy. So
how insane is that?
That was a tough weekend to get thrown. I mean, because anybody that's been to Des Nations knows, especially for US, you're expected to win. To be able to pull it off, that was pretty cool.
And with 2 freaks,
yeah,
as well. Like, what a crazy team to be a part of.
Yeah. No, that was a cool weekend. All the Des Nations experiences. Those are my best, most memorable, I would say, experiences for sure.
And so, what other ones did you do?
So I did the year before that in Ernay, France, in 05.
Yeah.
And then 09 in Italy.
Yeah.
With Dungey and Weimer.
Yeah.
The B team.
The B team. That's right. And
so for us to pull that,
yeah.
I mean, so 3 for 3 for me on Des Nations. Can't complain.
That's insane, dude. That's such a crazy stat,
And the Italy one, man, it came down to that final moto, me and Dungey. I mean, Oz was in it, I think, but I think Italy was still in it.
What year was that?
09.
9. So who was on that team for us?
It would have been
Chad,
Reed,
Meddy,
and Burner, maybe.
Either him or McFarlane.
One of the two. But I know they were still in it mathematically. Italy was maybe leading it. I can't remember. France, like everybody, we weren't. We had to do our job basically.
Yeah. And
I gave Dungey the premier gate spot. I think he whole shot. I was in the top 4 or 5. And Phillip Hartz, that first he just cleans me, T-bones me. So I go back, I don't even 20-something place. So I just start hammering, and it's full sketch mode. But I catch up. I don't know what I got that moto 7th, 8th, whatever. But I didn't know I didn't know we won until we went by the mechanics area. You know, there was 2 corners to go. I saw everybody cheering. And after the race, I'm like, why didn't you guys tell me we were in position to win? Because I had some sketchy moments. Like the last lap, I had some sketchy moments. Like, but we pulled it, man. That was pretty cool to pull that off. You know, no one expected us to. No, I don't think no one did.
No, and you were in. Again, it's like you've got the whole Carmichael, Stewart. Once the US decided we want back in and we want to start winning these things again, it was just like this precedence of just domination, and it was so expected. And America shouldn't win Motocross Nations, you know. For half the years.
I know. I thought the same way. I mean, maybe that's good. Like you're there. You're okay. Screw it. Like, we're here to win.
Yeah.
These guys can't beat us, you know. But in reality, you look at it like, dude, maybe we shouldn't. Like those guys are good.
And it's weird that I guess it just shows how good you guys were at that time too. You know, to overcome the challenges. Because I mean, dude, you go to a GP, it's so different.
It is different,
and it's so gnarly, dude. Like the way that those tracks develop. They don't prep them. There's all these different classes. Like we just
do not touch the track.
No.
I remember Italy, because they do the Saturday qualifying and all that, right? Yep. And I remember they were like, okay, Sunday morning, we're going to do a team track walk. We were walking the track. They didn't even touch it. They just filled the ruts up with water. Just and I'm freaking out because that's so not my condition. Yeah. Dude, gnarly.
Yeah.
I feel like they should, I mean, they can't do that here because it's not 2 days, but I feel like if the tracks got rougher here, it'd be better.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, there's a limit to it safety-wise and all that, but.
Yeah, I think you definitely see a huge separation, though, between the two worlds now. You know, and like, but you have a guy like Jeffrey, he says all he wants to come and do here is race is because the tracks are fun and it's not as.
The other thing I like over there is like if it's a hard pack track, it's a hard pack track, right? They don't try to turn it into a sand track. Like I feel like over here they try to make everything's
the same.
Just I mean, I get it, disc it up, make it, but I don't know. That's my opinion.
No, I'm honestly with you. Like I think that my hobby horse I was riding around last year was just like fuck the paddle tires. Like let's get rid of the scoops, unless it's Southwick or maybe Redbud. Like why can't we have why can't we say, hey, this weekend you can use this weekend you can use this. Yeah. Just simple.
And the hard pack tracks that they try to turn into sand tracks that it just sits on top and it doesn't ever. I don't know.
Well, look at Parla. Like Parla to me, the last couple years, because they ripped the starts super deep, and then they rip like the track is ripped deep for the early motos, right? But it's like that's not the conditions. It's a pretty hard pack track, and then you get the scoops going, and then you just have these like crazy ruts that everyone's in. Sexton and Jet, all Jet had to do was ride the inside lines, and you're not getting past because you can't go outside the main line, and there's no room to send it. Like you said, when you were in those long deep ruts, you have to like slow down to go fast. Well, that's not conducive to passing a guy who's riding that one inside line.
Plus, I just feel like visually watching it as a sport, when it is that slotted, like you can't see that on TV. It just looks like the guys are going slow, right? Like I like that more fast pace where guys can use the whole track. Yeah, inside, outside. I don't know, makes for better racing in my opinion.
We're excited to announce the launch of our new membership site, GYPSYTales.com, packed with exclusive content and perks that you won't find anywhere else. This is your chance to become a part of the Gypsy Gang. And as a special bonus, if you sign up to an annual membership, you'll be entered into the draw to win our custom-built TC125. Gypsy Gang.